This is nature facilitating its creative processes through good design, and I could teach school children to do this, 5-year-olds, no problem. This is nature facilitating its creative processes through good design, and I could teach school children to do this, 5-year-olds, no problem. This is nature facilitating its creative processes through good design, and I could teach school children to do this, 5-year-olds, no problem.
First, the rain goes to the roof and it gets to the gutter, and then the rain head gets all of the bird poop, sticks and leaves, and then the dirty water goes to the downspout and it fills up, and then when it fills up, the clean water goes over to the cistern.
My name is Blue Baldwin, and I'm the Ecology Program Coordinator at Monzo Elementary. Monzo is a school in the Tucson Unified School District, which is huge. It serves about 60,000 students, many of whom are qualifying for free and reduced lunch, so at or below the poverty line. And Monzo is a school in Barrio Hollywood on the west side of Tucson, with a 91% qualifying population for free and reduced lunch. Back in 2006, hi Gadiel. A person was hired to be the school counselor, and he found that in working with students dealing with issues around poverty and in a lot of crisis situations, it was most helpful to get those kids outside of an office setting, kind of tool in hand doing something. And so he started working with these kids little by little on projects around the campus, and they started chipping away at building garden areas. And so the first thing that they did was build what is now a desert tortoise habitat. And so they planted a bunch of native plants. They found someone from the community whose grandfather was a retired stonemason and taught them how to build the wall. And this project was done literally utilizing just the students. They carried every single rock for that wall into the courtyard where it's located, because there's no truck access, for months and months. That was PE, and volunteers from the community. And so all of the ecology infrastructure that we now have at Monzo was built in-house with the students and the community only, utilizing small grants and partnerships with other community organizations. As all of these garden spaces developed across campus, vegetable garden, food production spaces that are very water intensive, the idea of installing rainwater harvesting also took root, because we do live in a desert and water is scarce, and we want to teach the kids that if you're going to be using a lot of water, you should be harvesting it and getting it from renewable sources. And so again, just using small grants, we have now 16 water harvesting cisterns spread across the campus, and those are what the students use to water all of our garden spaces. So the vast majority of our spaces are not on irrigation. They're just hand watered by students using those cisterns. I know that all of our cisterns are around 1,000 gallons. Some are a little higher, some are a little lower, and so 1,000 times 16, we've got about 16,000 gallons of water. And that will last us, they fill in the summer monsoon, and so we're all set at the beginning of the school year. The cisterns are all full, and those last us all fall until the winter rains, and then they refill with the winter rains, and then we can almost hit the end of the school year with what we get from the winter rains. And so we start wrapping up the vegetable gardening in late March, April, because gardening in Tucson in the summer is super duper water intensive, and also we don't have kids all year round, and so we sort of wrap up. So the water that we have collected in the cisterns from the winter rains lasts us pretty much as long as we need it to. So we use very little municipal water. I know that as a school, we overall save water compared to other schools. And that's also because we've de-turfed a lot of our space. And so no longer is it a Bermuda grass lawn that needs to be sprinkled and irrigated, but rather we have a lot of native desert habitat areas, just mulched dirt areas, and then our garden spaces are consolidated. What I see at this school that I think is really special is that the kids love coming to school, and they're really proud of their school. I think they feel a sense of deep ownership because all of the ecology resources that we have, the chicken coop, the aquaponics system, all of the garden spaces, the desert tortoise habitat, truly are theirs. I feel like it's my job to make sure that the kids are able to really thoroughly explore and freely explore those areas, because in doing that they get to collaborate and work with each other, they get to problem solve, they get to know themselves better as people and what their role is in their community. And so Monzo kids love coming to Monzo because the campus is this rich, fun, beautiful learning environment, which is really special and unique in this kind of a community. So I think in a dryland area, if you're growing food, you have an ethical responsibility to be harvesting rainwater, both to conserve water, but also because the plants prefer rainwater. We have a lot of funky chemicals in our groundwater here because it's traveled a long way to get here. And so we've actually had fifth graders do experiments where they water plant starts with harvested rainwater versus tap water versus water from the aquaponics system, for instance. And time and time again, we see that the plants prefer the rainwater and the aquaponic water over the tap water. And so rainwater harvesting, I think, is something that if you're growing food in the desert, you must do it. And there's this crazy statistic. Enough water falls on our rooftops in Tucson that if we were able to capture all of it, it would be more than enough for all of our needs, literally, which is kind of crazy. I mean, we only get 12 inches, but if we were able to capture and store all of it, it would be enough, even in that tiny amount, which is kind of mind-blowing. And then we also, as I mentioned earlier, we try to wrap up our gardening by the time it gets really, really hot. And then when we do summer crops, we do only the very native adapted dry weather crops. So we do like corn, squash, and beans that are from Native Seed Search, which is an organization that propagates native crops. And so those can survive theoretically and often in practical terms too, just on the monsoon rainfall.
This is nature facilitating its creative processes through good design, and we can teach. I could teach school children to do this, 5-year-olds, no problem.
And this house, we built it ourselves. We didn't call any mason to help us. We built it with school children. We built it with school children. We built it with school children. We built it with school children.
So right here at the mini truck today, we have a pump installed for the water tank. The water tank is a 65-gallon water tank. It's gravity fed. We live out in the mountains and we're pretty hilly where we're at, so we gotta be parked a certain way to make the gravity fed side work. And when it does come out, it's very slow. So that pump that we do have, it's a, I think, 7-gallon per minute pump, so it's gonna go a little bit faster than twice the speed as that thing being gravity fed. All right, there's mine right here. That should be good. Hose, come on, connect. And now, do it like that. Better. There you go. So first I'm going to drill a hole through the bed to bring the wires down from the motor. Before I get the switch installed, I need to pull wire from the pump towards the battery and also into the cab to get everything wired up, and I'll slap that switch in. There you go. Nice. Okay, perfect. So that's it, your little ice cube relay right there. to make everything operate. But turn it on, should turn it on, then you turn it off, okay?
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's actually really neat.
Okay, push this bolt back, there you go. Put this nut on there.
Oh yeah.
This is so much better.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
Oh yeah. It's like a. Okay, it's embarrassing. It's like a legit hose now. Like
This
right
thing,
there.
this has more pressure than our hose,
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Look how far this goes out.
Come on.
That was worth the money, man. Besides, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bend your wire a little bit so you can push it in there and try to hook it around so it hits that hole, that stud.
Oh.
You know what I mean? A little bit more of a hook. So take it and bend it,
Yeah, you got it.
and just like that. You know what I mean? So it's not
Easy.
it's not hard. It does. It was a one hitter quitter right there, buddy. You know? That's good enough. Now push it up that little push it this little tab right there.
Pull, pull, pull. Nice.
Not to brag or anything, but I have 2 electricians in this household. One works for Little Debbie's and the other one works for ice cream. It's not a bad deal. Today the plumbers are coming by to make all of the final connections in the renovation house. We have 2 full bathrooms, the kitchen of course, and a water heater / pressure tank that all need to be hooked up. Josh is going to be doing the electrical side and the plumbing pros are going to be handling the water side. And then hopefully we can get water turned on in this house.
I can do the electric side of it. Yeah. And kind of go.
But I have 2 electricians in this household. But I have 2 electricians in this household. But I have 2 electricians in this household. The plumbing pro, the plumbing pro, the plumbing pro, the plumbing pro.
Yeah.
And I think that the good thing is, or the silver lining is maybe that we have a touch of experience installing a well pump. We did it at our property.
It's one of the first videos we filmed.
Yeah.
Actually.
It is, and it's just kind of one of those things that's been the benefit of this entire process for us is when we run into situations like this, instead of freaking out and kind of panicking, it's like, okay, we got this.
Yeah,
Let's fix it.
It's not a big deal. We'll just pull the old pump out, throw a new pump in there, voila, we got water.
Yeah.
On the plus side, the well's not dry, so that would have been an issue. This is not so much.
We are going to take care of replacing the well pump ourselves. The plumbers were able to make all the necessary final connections on their end, and we plan to come back with all of the necessary tools and a new pump to restore water to this old house. We are going to take care of replacing the well pump ourselves. We are going to take care of replacing the well pump ourselves. We are going to take care of replacing the well pump ourselves.
Gives me a lot of peace of mind knowing how prepared we are, especially with the solar system. When we got the last ice storm a week ago, all of our neighbors were out of power for about 3 days. Same thing happened this past spring when that nasty storm came through. Everybody's out of power for 3 days. We don't miss a beat. So we got to protect these batteries at all costs with the heater, and so we're functioning like normal. So, like I said, it feels great knowing we're prepared enough. We're going to have no hiccups with anything. We have fuel for the wood stoves, wood, to heat the house. We have this that's going to run all of our power throughout the entire house and everywhere. Even if power goes down across the entire area, we're still running full force. This is one of the huge benefits of living the way we live. We don't rely on anybody. We don't rely on a power company. We have food that we grow ourselves. We have animals. We have structures for all the animals, and we're pretty much self-contained and self-reliant on everything we have with the wood stove, power, water, everything. And we're ready. Bring that cold temperature on, baby. We're good to go.
From going without running water and power when we first moved out here,
Been without water for about 7 or 8 weeks now.
to installing a well pump for our first time and turning on lights at the flick of a switch.
We have power.
We're so grateful for everything that we once didn't have and worked so hard to get.
Did have a couple of mess ups there.
It happened. We do this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Just gotta keep on going.
All the ups and downs that led us to moments like this, where we sit surrounded in redundancy and independence, that give us a real sense of safety and security. We built this solar power array, this battery bank, this house, this food supply and firewood stock to invest in our future for moments like this.
So we have full-time power now. This is a huge milestone for us, something that we have dreamed about and worked towards for a really long time now.
This thing can run all of our AC and everything in the house without a problem.
And when tomorrow arrives, we will feel confident in what we've established here, that we will be riding out this storm as if it was just another day.
Especially with the solar system, especially with the solar system, especially with the solar system.
But it was not necessary as some 100 years ago, right? It was not too many people on Earth, so the housing demand could met with the stone, mud and mostly manual labor. But today, the whole nother story. Considering the growth of population, by 2030 we would need to build as many houses as for the previous 2,000 years. Although the construction materials evolved, basically changed their shape and size, the manual assembly is yet a must. It takes a lot of time, speed and quality heavily depends on skilled labor, which is limited today or even unavailable in some countries. So the task of providing affordable houses is no longer possible with such approach. Henry Ford solved a similar problem with the car industry by introducing automation, and thus tremendously expanding the industry. This is just the same what we are doing for construction industry.
Oh, hello, Holes.
What is that smell? It smells so good.
We've got the most amazing ox down there. Hello, mate. Are you well?
Yeah, good thing.
Hello, mate.
How was your day? So what were you making, Dad?
So we're going to poach these pears, a little bit of chili, water, and sugar. What are they, Holes? Smell?
It's saffron.
It's exactly that. Saffron is expensive, but you only need the tiniest little bit. A little pinch to make that water go light and golden. Star anise.
How comes the chilies, you've like sliced it at the end and it's not put in whole?
I want all that flavour coming out of the chili. We're going to make the most amazing star anise dust.
Star anise dust?
Dust.
Wow.
So you get your star anise in there, seed up, and then in. See all those little seeds?
Yeah.
And then you start grinding. A little teaspoon of ginger. Give it a nice mix. Thank you, mate. And that's gonna dust the top of the pears once they're cooked. Right, get your pears. Drop them in there. And that's what we're gonna sprinkle. Ginger and star anise.
Wow.
How nice is that?
Very good.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
So once they're cooked, cool down, sprinkle that over the top. Right, have you guys got homework?
Yes. See you guys
Come back
later.
shortly. Thank you.
Love you, Dad. Love you, Dad.
Love you too. Turn that down and let them boil. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Right, have you guys got homework?
Yes. See you guys
Come back
later.
shortly. Right, have you guys got homework?
Yes. See you guys
Come back
later.
shortly. Right, have you guys got homework?
Yes. See you guys
Come back
later.
shortly.
Who needs compost? I feel so excited and hopeful. I feel so relieved. There are so many innocent people, little children out there suffering in dry lands, and they don't need to be. They just don't need to be. And they don't need to have these big debts to energy and consumption. This is nature facilitating its creative processes through good design, and we can teach. I could teach school children to do this. 5-year-olds, no problem at all.
I said what will make his life better is education. He want to go to school, be a good person in life. If he have a good place he can be staying, so he will focus more on education. So he believes with education, things will turn to good for him.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Lovely boy.
Yeah.
Right, have you guys got homework?
Yes. See you guys
Come back
later.
shortly. Right, have you guys got homework?
Yes. See you guys
Come back
later.
shortly. Right, have you guys got homework?
Yes. See you guys
Come back
later.
shortly.
And this house, we built it ourselves. We didn't call any mason to help us. We built it with school children. We built it with school children. We built it with school children. We built it with school children.
As all of these garden spaces developed across campus, vegetable garden, food production spaces that are very water intensive, the idea of installing rainwater harvesting also took root because we do live in a desert and water is scarce, and we want to teach the kids that if you're going to be using a lot of water, you should be harvesting it and getting it from renewable sources.
We are expecting a big winter storm coming over the next couple of days. We are supposed to get to -5 to -10 degrees Fahrenheit, which means a lot of my vegetables here in our tunnel may freeze as well. So I'm going to be harvesting most of the things that I think will freeze, like lettuce. Turnips and radishes will keep for a long time in our house, so I'm harvesting those just in case. Definitely going to harvest our celery. The broccoli is pretty much done, so no need to harvest any of that. Thinking what else. We have some winter choy in here. I think that'll last in the ground. So we're just going to get to work and get started on that and bring it all in.
Yay! Yay! Mom, do we have to do a garden tour on Christmas Eve?
I don't know.
Mom, how about one of our Christmas presents for Christmas Eve and Christmas is no garden chore?
Yeah, there is not going to be a garden chore on Christmas.
Huge pile.
Huge pile of losers.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Celery. My way to get celery off is
But I have 2 electricians in this household. But I have 2 electricians in this household. But I have 2 electricians in this household. The plumbing pro, the plumbing pro, the plumbing pro, the plumbing pro.
You can rub it in with your brush. You see how much that's gonna improve it?
Oh, that looks so good.
Go ahead, you can rub it in.
So much fun.
It looks so much better already.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Haiti, you're up, dude. Grab the drill, start drilling. I'll fall behind you.
Okay, I'll go drilling. So start drilling from right here on.
Yeah, yep, you got it.
Okay.
Right in the center. 18 pieces of rebar, just fall behind me. All right, cool.
How's it look so far?
Great.
Much better, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I think it looks so much better.
Huge improvement.
Not worn out
No.
anymore.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Once the floor gets up, we're gonna bring music on out here, and we're gonna have a dance party. Here we go.
Till tomorrow, I'm taking it all in. It's a new day, going my way. Hello, good morning. It's good.
All right, yep, right there. All right. 5 1/4, got it? Yeah. Looks close to me. All right, good.
You gotta find your people, the ones that make you feel all right. When you're together, you got nothing to prove. When you're together, you got nothing to lose. In a world full of strangers, you don't know who to trust. All you see is danger, trying to find what you lost. You can't go it alone.
That's mom.
Got it right here?
Yeah.
Get that in.
Cool.
We're almost to the end.
Yeah. You're getting smoker out here, girl.
I can feel it.
Yeah. Split it right in half. Go in the house, guys. Yeah. I got a bedroom for you, got a bedroom for you, got a bedroom for the little one, and I got a bedroom for you, girl.
Because this is a gravity system with no tanks and no pumps, greywater flows through downward sloping pipes to the landscape. The flow is divided or branched multiple times, with the end of each branch ending in a mulch basin. The mulch basin is a sunken area in the landscape filled with wood chips, located near a larger plant like a tree or a bush. This system irrigates these fruit trees. Imagine greywater flowing by gravity down the drain, flowing through pipes, being divided up by flow splitters and falling onto mulch, irrigating the roots of the trees.
Where we're going is obvious. We're going to houses that don't require heating.
Especially with the solar system, especially with the solar system, especially with the solar system.
We are going to take care of replacing the well pump ourselves. We are going to take care of replacing the well pump ourselves. We are going to take care of replacing the well pump ourselves.
As all of these garden spaces developed across campus, vegetable garden, food production spaces that are very water intensive, the idea of installing rainwater harvesting also took root because we do live in a desert and water is scarce, and we want to teach the kids that if you're going to be using a lot of water, you should be harvesting it and getting it from renewable sources. And so again, just using small grants, we have now 16 water harvesting cisterns spread across the campus, and those are what the students use to water all of our garden spaces. So the vast majority of our spaces are not on irrigation. They're just hand watered by students using those cisterns.
First, the rain goes to the roof and it gets to the gutter, and then the rain head gets all of the bird poop, sticks and leaves, and then the dirty water goes to the downspout and it fills up, and then when it fills up, the clean water goes over to the assistant.
A person was hired to be the school counselor, and he found that in working with students dealing with issues around poverty and in a lot of crisis situations, it was most helpful to get those kids outside of an office setting, kind of tool in hand doing something. And so he started working with these kids little by little on projects around the campus, and they started chipping away at building garden areas. And so the first thing that they did was build what is now a desert tortoise habitat. And so they planted a bunch of native plants. They found someone from the community whose grandfather was a retired stonemason and taught them how to build the wall. And this project was done literally utilizing just the students. They carried every single rock for that wall into the courtyard where it's located because there's no truck access for months and months. That was PE. And volunteers from the community. And so all of the ecology infrastructure that we now have at Monzo was built in-house with the students and the community only, utilizing small grants and partnerships with other community organizations.
It's called panelized housing. And if I'm being honest, it's basically just like Legos. It's basically just like Legos. It's basically just like Legos. It's basically just like Legos.
It's literally like life-size Lego. It's literally like life-size Lego. It's literally like life-size Lego.
Okay, so these bricks, we don't use mortar or cement in laying them. It just interlock with each other with the male and female ends. Okay, so these bricks, we don't use mortar or cement in laying them. It just interlock with each other with the male and female ends. Okay, so these bricks, we don't use mortar or cement in laying them. It just interlock with each other with the male and female ends.
I don't always want you to help me. Do you know why? I want to figure it out on my own. even when it doesn't turn out the way I want. I know it's not wrong. Because you taught me how to think. And how to dream. I'm about to make something that I know will make you proud.
They good? They ready?
Yeah.
Stop hogging them all. Hand me some. You know?
Yeah.
These are the black raspberries, Ellie.
Oh my goodness! Look, look, look at it. See how it looks like just like a raspberry? But it's black. Go ahead and eat it.
Oh, wow. We finally have somebody who saves the berries instead of eating them all.
Got 'em. It looks so good.
Daddy, you're
I'm
eating
sorry.
Is it good?
Đúng rồi, con giỏi lắm. Ok.
Làm давай начинаем. Это семена конопли. Очень полезные. А вот это вот семена льна. Вот так вот добавляем. Всё. Так вот. И наливаем. Так, это достаточно. Чуть-чуть еще. Все, достаточно. Швем еще. Так вот делаем приплюс. И ставим. Давай сама толкай. Толкай, толкай. Толкай.
It's the sunlight through the curtains, morning pushing back the night. It's your faces in the kitchen, little moons of borrowed light. On your tiptoes, always reaching for something bigger than you are. It's holding you and knowing that I've caught a shooting star. I know it won't always be like this. Eyes are open, I don't wanna miss these ordinary days.
А, ты хочешь положить?
These ordinary days.
Сыпь чуть-чуть.
In a million little ways, you make me wanna stay in these ordinary days. It's the way you feel the music, spinning like the falling leaves. You are poetry in motion, and you want to dance with me. I know it won't always be like this. Eyes are open, I don't wanna miss these ordinary days.
Con đi ăn sống với lại.
À không, con ăn hết rồi à? Ok. Con ăn ngon không? Ngon không?
I really love balancing stones, mostly because I think it's such a great way to also balance myself and to create something beautiful at the same time. Even though a little wind is enough to make it look like your sculpture never was there. But in this moment, as I try to find a tiny, tiny little balance point, my thoughts are completely silent. and that's a very good feeling. Sometimes it only takes a couple of minutes to make a balance, and sometimes an hour. But when it's done, I love to watch the stone balance. It looks so still and quiet in a world that is constantly moving. Very often, I see people commenting that it's fake, that it's impossible to do this, and that it's photoshopped or glue. But I kinda get excited about those reactions, because it's a proof that there is so much more in this life than we could ever imagine. If some people think that this is impossible, imagine then how many more things there is in life that we still think is impossible, just because we never really tried it. Just because we already put the frames on what is possible and not.
So if you were to live 2 or 3 or 4 or 500 years, then that much larger brow that you see indenting up right there is precisely how your skull would look.